Well, thank you, and we are so pleased to have Dr. Jerry Weichman. And as you guys know, he is a clinical psychologist up at Newport Beach, and he specializes in adolescents, just like you guys, and he sees them every day. He's also on the State Board of California for anti-bullying campaign initiative. So he's dealing with our government and the federal government and trying to get a handle on this in our country. So we're so excited to have him. He also has spoken on KTLA and Fox News. So let's give him a warm welcome.
All right. What's up, 8th graders? A few more weeks of school and you guys are outie. Kind of nice. So, hey, look, it's nice to be back here again. Last time I was here, you guys were absolutely awesome to me, and I really appreciated that. If you don't remember who I am, I'm Dr. Jerry Weichman. Like Linda explained, I'm a licensed psychologist, and I do some television, some news, media stuff about teenagers and what's going on. But for the most part, I enjoy speaking. I enjoy speaking to people like you. So here's what we're doing today. We're talking about bullying. We're talking about what's going on. I was bullied a lot when I was your guys' age, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about what happened with me. So a little bit of breakdown about my life and what's going on. You know, you guys are going to hear about bullying, what to look for, what it really is, what are the current trends, how to handle it, and what are warning signs. But you're going to also hear from me as far as, you know, what did I go through? What was it like for me? Because, you know, what I found in doing this is everybody is affected in some shape, way, or form throughout their life. But I want to get one thing straight first, is you guys are the ones behind the wheel. This is your show. No matter what I say, parents say, teachers say, this is your deal. And part of being a man in the world is stepping up and taking responsibility for what you got and trying to formulate for yourself what life is really about and how it should go. So let's talk about my life a little bit. So, in a long story short, when I was born without a right foot, and I had to learn to walk with a prosthetic leg. And just to show you guys I'm legit, I'm going to show you. It's crazy, right? Being born like this, knowing out the box, even when I was like a little kid, I knew before I even hit nursery school or kindergarten that if I was different and stuck out, people were going to bag on me. I was going to get teased. So I was always wearing long pants. You know how like it starts getting warm now, summertime? Everybody's starting to get into their summer clothes, wearing shorts. I was always wearing long pants. People are like, dude, aren't you hot? And I'm wiping beads of sweat from my forehead like, no, I'm cool. The one cool thing about my leg, though, was I could kick the crap out of any kind of ball. It was like this big club, right? So I was the man at kickball. Like people called me bazooka because I could kick the ball over everybody's head, right? So I think it was about 3rd grade. And what happened was, I'm going out on the schoolyard. Everybody starts running back. I'm walking up to home plate and kickball. Now I can see everybody's running backwards, like, oh man, here comes bazooka, right? And I see the ball coming, and I just absolutely crushed this thing. But something didn't feel right. I couldn't tell what was really going on. I look out in center field, and center fielder's going like this. And I look up, and there's the ball. And to the right of the ball is my foot inside my shoe going like this. Now, can you imagine if you were hanging out with some kid, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, all of a sudden he walks up to ask his teacher a question, and homeboy's arm drops off in front of everybody? You'd be freaking out, right? People run around the schoolyard. Oh my God, Jerry's legs came off. Everybody's running for their life away from my foot. I look over in the corner, there's 2 little girls holding on to each other and crying. Teachers are pouring out of their classrooms to see what's going on. PE teacher walks out, sees me sitting at home plate and sees my foot out in center field and everybody like running around chaotically. And you can tell the dude's like, how am I going to get this dude to the nurse's office? Goes to his shed, grabs a piece of wood, 4 wheels on a rope, just a little dolly, rolls out to me, puts me on top of it, rolls me out to center field, grabs my foot, puts it on my chest like I just delivered a baby, rolls me in front of everybody to the nurse's office. Now, if you guys got a more embarrassing story than that, please let me know, because I would love to hear it afterwards. But long and short of it, of course, this is when all the bagging starts. And people start, cutting me down and teasing me. One thing I wanted to come back to tell you guys was I went from dealing with this to high school to college. Fortunately, I was blessed with athletic ability. I played Division I college football. And I got to go play against Nebraska when they were number 1 in the country in front of 90,000 people. That was rad. But long and short of this whole thing is if I can make it through all this stuff, and I've just come from where you're going, I'm just going to roll out to you all the stuff that I used to get through it, to get to where I've been in my life. But if you're dealing with it right now, all I want to tell you is it gets better. It's temporary. It's not always going to be like this. Okay, so let's talk about some stuff. You can start making it better now. Check this out. 66% of kids are dealing with something. On top of that, every day in the United States, 160,000 kids stay home because they're dealing with some crap at school. 160,000. I mean, imagine what 100 pennies looks like, and multiply that by 1,600. That's how many kids that we know of are dealing with something directly that's so bad that they can't even show up on campus. We got a problem. So the effects of bullying are detrimental. It lasts a lifetime. I mean, it also results in suicide. You see all these suicides going on all over the place, and all of a sudden it's like media attention. It really sucks that it took a bunch of kids killing themselves for the media and society to go, oh man, we got a problem. Because I'll tell you this much. When I was a kid, we had a problem. And all of a sudden, you guys are in a different age, and you got some support, which is kind of cool. And we'll talk about that in a second, too. So, look, raise your hand if you have never been bagged on or gossiped about. I mean, look around the room. Look around the room. 99%, okay? Even if those guys were telling the truth. 99%. I mean, look at it. We got a problem here, guys. This is a serious problem. We got a problem in this room. We got a problem in our society. Every single one of you, in some shape, way, or form, has been affected. I mean, the beauty of this whole thing is you guys have control and you can do something about it. By the way, if you guys are struggling, I believe that there's an equal amount of good days and bad days in life. And if you're struggling, you're getting a lot of bad days out of the way. Okay? That's how it was for me. Let's talk about what we're really talking about and what is it. Bullying isn't pre-wired, okay? You're not born like this. You don't come into the world like this. It's a learned behavior. You pick it up from other people around you. And on top of that, it involves everybody. It involves everybody in this room. I mean, even if you're not a bully or a victim, you're a player in this whole dynamic, which I'm going to explain in a second. It's deliberate. The intention is really to cut somebody down, to degrade them, make them feel worse. It's repeated. They're going after the same person every time. And it's power imbalanced. That individual is looking for somebody that is going to take his crap and not have a huge flip back on them. 4 types of bullying are physical. This is what everybody really thinks of. You know, it's the pushing, the tripping. That's really not as commonplace as everything else. We've got the verbal. So now everybody's just talking crap, bagging on everything, right? Telling each other to shut up all the time. We've got the indirect, especially the girls that are in that other presentation right now, right? Cutting each other out of the group, like not talking to each other, like pretending one guy doesn't exist. Cyber and text. I mean, you guys live in a crazy world. So now you guys can go from school to the safety of your own house, up into the privacy of your own room, and bling, text pops up. Bling, Facebook pops up. Something on your wall. Bling, I am pops up. This is what everybody thinks about you. You're an idiot. You're a dumbass. You're not going anywhere. Whatever it is that people are cutting each other down. It's gnarly, man. You guys have a crazy different life than I did when I was growing up. Because you can't get away from it. It follows you. It follows you everywhere you go. You got texting, you got Facebook. Whatever you do, do not put yourself on Formspring, please. For those of you that don't know what Formspring is, it's basically Facebook, but it's anonymous. So anybody can say anything they want about you, period. And the stuff that I hear comes out of this, it's crazy. You should just kill yourself is the most common thing that I hear off of Formspring. People will cut you down, man, and it's not even worth it. Why would you want that? All right, players. We got the bully, we got the victim, and we got the bystander. That's why I said it's everybody in this room. You're a bystander. If you're watching this happen, you're equally a part of the problem and a part of the solution at the same time. So why is everybody bullying? Man, at this stage in life, it's a big, interesting situation in the sense that no one knows who they are or where they're going or what they're going to become. It's an awkward time in life. Self-esteem is not naturally high during these stages of life, you guys. So with that, everybody, there's a one up, one down dichotomy that starts to begin to take effect, where people will cut other people down to try to make themselves feel better and look better in other people's eyes. The problem with this is that, you know, in addition, you've got your social stock. So now all of a sudden, you're so concerned about how you're perceived and received by your peers, not just how many friends you have on Facebook, but how people see you here at school. It starts becoming almost an addiction for people. They just can't get over it. They're always thinking about it. And you got enough stress as that it is to begin with. You got to deal at school. Every school is the same in the sense that from a social perspective, it's cheesy, it's gossipy. Judge a book by its cover. People don't see you for who you are, who you're going to be. I hated that part of school. And there's a caste system that exists as you start hitting middle school and high school where people start seeing you for who you were, not who you are or who you're going to be. And what sucks about that is you guys are going to change a lot between now and when you graduate high school. I was in that boat. Even though I had friends and I played sports and I was an athlete and stuff like that, I still was like, really? Really? Like, I kind of think I'm the man, but not everybody's seeing it. Is this how life's always going to be? Because if so, this is going to really suck. But that's what I came back to tell you guys. You get through it, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. But it makes sense why it's a difficult time right now. I think the internet and the smartphones and all that stuff, that's a big reason why there's this huge spike in bullying. Because at your guys' age, so many guys are modeling. Not modeling like runway modeling. Like they're modeling like copying everybody else. What's the latest trend? Oh, man, everybody's got skinny jeans. I got to have skinny jeans. Oh, man, everybody's got this. I got to get this. Oh, man, everybody's doing this. I got to do this. You guys, seriously, if there's one thing that you guys can take out of this, it's that you stand on your own. Instead, take a step forward and not be so concerned about conforming and going with the flow and just masses, just like sheep, following the trends. Have the courage to stand out on your own and do something different. I mean, if you guys don't learn how to change this up eventually and take a stand on your own, you're like all these other Orange County parents that we see around town. You know, they just got a Mercedes. We got to get a Mercedes. They just got this. We got to get this. They got a Land Rover. We got a Land Rover. They're going to Mammoth for spring break. We got to go to Mammoth for spring break. They're going to Palm Springs. We got to go to Palm Springs. You're like all these other adults chasing nothing. Take a stand for yourself. Everybody, to some extent, is struggling in this room, in some shape, way, or form, whether with family or sports or school or parents or siblings or boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever it is. Everybody's struggling. But everybody puts up this fake front like they got it all together. That's what's crazy, that they're all that and then some. But behind the scenes, everybody struggles. All right, let's talk about the how. All right, look, guys bag, right? That's how it was when I was your guys' age. They cut each other down. They bag on everything. Clothes, hair, face, athletic ability, grades they got, all this stuff. Here's the deal, man. Even though it's funny and it's fun at times, it's always at somebody's expense. I mean, you're not always on the delivering side of that. Remember when you're on the receiving side of that? Yeah, you're smiling, trying to think of a comeback, but it sucks. So someone's always going to be let down and cut down just from being exposed to this in the first place. It's always at somebody's expense. The other part is, some guys that I'm seeing are a lot like girls now. Here's the deal. All those girls in that other room over there, they're dealing with the indirect thing, with gossiping and all that stuff. I'm seeing guys start to do that. Oh, yeah, Kevin, here's what I think about Kevin. Did you hear about Kevin? You hear about Chris? And Chris is doing all this stuff. And all this stuff and cutting each other out of groups. Are you serious, guys? Really? I mean, really? I see guys starting to act like girls. I see guys starting to, get mad when guy gets a girlfriend and starts, bullying the girl to get the girl away from his guy friend. Seriously, guys, we got to get back to being guys again. Because there's no need to do that stuff if you're in an okay place. That's the bottom line. There is no reason at all. I mean, think about the bullying effects can last a lifetime. I mean, think about the last time you were bullied. How quickly did that pop up in your head? As an adult, you can ask any adult, think about the last time they were bullied. Immediate recall. They can think about it in 1 second, even if it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You can physically get in a fight and those scars go away. You can get bagged down and bullied and torn apart by some kid emotionally, and it sticks with you. It sticks with you your whole rest of your life. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is you guys are in control of a lot that's going on, and you can either make life better for people or you can make life way worse. When you think of someone here as your first and last name, what do you want them to think? Because the way that you handle yourself now is going to have a direct effect even 20, 30, 40 years from now. No matter how much you change and grow, someone's going to hear your name that you were messing with, and you're going to be in that category as someone that contributed to making their life suck. And they can think about it in 2 seconds, and you're still that person even though 20 years have gone by. It's crazy. So, look, the bottom line above this whole thing is that there's no reason to bag, to talk about somebody else, to do anything if you're in a good place. There's no reason. If you're not in a good spot, it makes a lot more sense why you do what you do. So, let's talk about some other stuff here. If you're okay in life, it's not a big deal. If you're not, it makes more sense. Think about it. Everything in life comes from hurt or pain. You don't express your hurt or pain, it turns to anger. Think about any time you've been angry, I guarantee you were hurt first every single time. You got to start seeing these guys that are bagging all the time and bullying all the time for who they are. They feel this big. This is not a big, intimidating person. They feel small. They feel inadequate. They feel insecure. And what you needed to start doing is thinking about what's going on behind the scenes that can make somebody feel this way in the first place that you'll never know about. Their parents could have gotten divorced. They could have been molested when they were a kid. Who knows what's going on? But the long and short of it, of the whole deal is if you think about this stuff, when some kid's screwing with you, it helps you rise up. Because all of a sudden you start having pity for this kid, that this is how he's rolling through his life, versus taking what he's giving you at face value. All right, you're the victim. What you can do, check this out. There's a conditioned response between the muscles in your face and the pleasure centers in your brain. If you're getting bagged on by somebody, here's what I recommend you do. Smile. Smile at the kid. Think about it. Like we talked about before. They're trying to get to you, right? They're trying to get in your dome and stick it to you because they don't feel good. If someone's messing with you and you turn around and look at them and you go, what does that communicate to them? It doesn't faze you. It doesn't faze you. It doesn't get to you. On top of that, you feel better when you force yourself to smile anyway. So you kill two birds with one stone with that. Other stuff you can do. How you carry yourself makes a difference. Look, I realized a long time ago how you carry yourself makes a difference. You see these kids at school, they're just dragging. They're just like, right? If you put your shoulders back, chest out, head up, and carry yourself with pride, even fake it till you make it, not only do you start feeling better, but it's like bully repellent. Because they're looking for someone who's going to take what they're given. And if you're carrying yourself with pride and confidence, they're going to look for somebody else to mess with a lot of the time. Here's the other deal. If someone's just continually getting to you and none of this stuff's working, it's important you tell somebody. Now, one of the positives from Columbine and all these other school shootings has been the fact that schools across the nation realize they have a serious problem if they don't deal with something, and they adopted a zero-tolerance stance on bullying. So now there's so much more bite to the bark of the administration. I wish I had this when I was your guys' age. Because all it takes is going to the administration with one problem, and it's fixed most of the time. I've seen kids kicked out of the district, expelled, suspended, have to move out of Southern California because they didn't stop bullying somebody. Now, one of the biggest things I hear from everybody is fear of retribution, that coming back to them. Well, if I go and rat this kid out, he's going to find out, he's going to come down even more on me, and everybody's going to find out I'm a rat, which is going to kill my social stock and how everybody sees me, so I'm not doing that. But check this out. Now, what your administration does for you is you go in, you tell them, hey, like, I can't deal with this, can you guys help me out? And what they do is they call in this kid. Instead of going like, Chris says that you are bullying him, which is going to come back to you, all I do is go, hey, look, this kid in class, a couple of kids in class actually, have said that you were doing this to this other kid. This teacher saw you do this on the yard or in class. And all of a sudden, it's not you if you're the victim that is in this. If that bully comes back to you, like, dude, did you say anything to somebody? Like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. And all of a sudden, it gets dealt with. Now the administration actually goes to bat for you. They've got cameras all over the place. They can see everything that's going on. And on top of that, they take your word for it. And now, all of a sudden, it's like having a bodyguard in your back pocket. Well, I can't deal with this, and you put the big guy in front of you, and he handles it for you. And you don't have to do anything. It's awesome. I mean, I wish I had this when I was your guys' age. These guys are primed and ready to help you out. You just got to speak up and say something. And they'll go, and heads will roll, and if it happens again, go back. It's a liability for the school to allow it to continue. They will cut some kid way down to get him to knock it off because they don't want anything to happen at school, and they want you guys to be safe and be able to live life and be chill. So talking to people, talking to administration, telling your parents helps. Seeing the bully for who they are helps. Like we said, they feel small. They feel really inferior, really insecure. Ignoring it doesn't always work. You know, they tell you, just ignore it. Someone's bullying you, just ignore it. But what do a lot of bullies do? They're like, oh, man, this kid's just going to let me, like, get in his dome. So they follow him around. He's like, dude, yeah. You know, they keep just chattering in your ear, doing the same stuff. So what I learned to do was I learned to be kind of dramatic with it. Guys would be bag and cut me down at football or whatever and be like, yeah, you suck. And I was like, oh, dude, it hurts so bad. Stop, man. I can't take it. You're killing me. Like, yeah, Jerry, like, you suck. Oh, God, it hurts so bad. Bully's not looking for that. He's looking for somebody that's going to take what he's given. All right? Helps you to kind of ward this off. Other stuff that you can do. I think that, you know, the long and short of this is you got to remind yourself it's temporary. It's not always going to be like this. The kids that go out there and actually kill themselves are the kids that lose hope. They give up. It gets better. No matter how bad things get for you, it's temporary. There's very rarely anything in your life that you're going to be struggling with the whole rest of your life. So all you got to do is remind yourself of that and give yourself some hope. All right, what do you not do? Well, what I learned is if you keep it to yourself, your depression goes up, your stress level goes up, your concentration goes down, which makes your schoolwork go down. You get depressed, you get lower self-esteem, and you get suicidal ideation. Sweet. Sounds great, right? Fighting back physically. Okay, what I learned getting in fights is I was just screwing myself. Because if I was fighting guys, I was getting in trouble, which means the guy that was messing with me had more control over me than I wanted because all of a sudden I'm in trouble and he's got me all pissed off. And on top of that, you get retribution. So then he's coming back for more. He's getting his buddies all together. It sucks. If you can just straight up go to the administration, get some help, come stand in and help you out, it helps so much. Fighting back on the internet or texting. All right, so I know you guys hear this from your parents all the time, but I see this in my own practice. It's permanent. It sticks with you. There's a recording CD-ROM for the rest of your life now. This is a crazy world that you guys are being brought up in. Anything that you say via text, put on your Facebook wall, on an IM, is permanent, recoverable, and printable, and it will be that way for the whole rest of your life. You say one offhanded comment, something racist, saying you're going to kill somebody, you have a chance of being in some serious, serious trouble. There was just a girl on the national news, your age. She was pissed at her teacher, and she posted on her Facebook, I wish my teacher died instead of Osama bin Laden. That got back to the school. School not just suspended her, but expelled her. And she was on CNN the other day, and I'm watching this, and she's your guys' age, and they're like, well, what are you saying you're going to kill people for? She's like, but I didn't think it was permanent. I didn't think it was going to get anywhere. It was just funny. I was just joking around. Look, this is the real deal. Like, when your parents are saying it's permanent, it's permanent. I see this pop up all the time. All someone that wants to screw you over has to do is hit print. Anybody, if you guys become famous in your life, all anybody has to do is start searching through your records, talking to other people that knew you back in the day, and they get a printout of something that you said. Oh, yeah, I've got that email. I've got that CD. That's recoverable in my hard drive. And they got you. It's crazy. Don't fight back via text or electronics. It's nuts. All right, what can you do as a bystander? I knew I was talking to you guys. I was thinking about putting some COD stuff up because I play, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I thought that was better. But here's the thing. So, as a bystander, like this is what I'm saying, you guys are all a player. You're all in control here. You all have a factor on how this goes. You have an opportunity as a bystander to make a change in somebody's life and to make it better. If you see other kids messing with other kids, step up. Say something. Help that kid out. Because if you don't say anything, you're giving the bully the green light. It's kind of like your parents. You're messing with your siblings. You're looking to see what your parents are going to do. If they don't say anything or don't ground you or they're just like, hey, knock it off, you're like, oh, green light on this. I'm going to keep this going. Right? It's the same thing. Step up for the kids that need help. Just call out what's right and wrong. That's what I'm saying. It's important for you guys to step outside the box. Stop being sheep and define your own trail. Blaze your own trail in life. If you can do that, you're going to be so successful outside of this realm. You guys also have an amazing ability to see what's going on online, which is, as we know, a completely separate world that not a lot of their parents see. You guys see the IMs. You guys see the text. You guys see the Facebook postings. Not a lot of adults see that stuff. So you guys are like the first responders. And sometimes you're the only hope of that kid getting help. All these kids that have killed themselves have posted repeatedly, I'm depressed, life sucks, what's the point in living? Is this really all there is to life? Okay? Nobody stepped up. I can't count, I don't know how many hundreds of kids saw that, or how 50 kids or 10 kids. The point is, a lot saw that, and nobody said anything. And then because those kids killed themselves, they're all, to some extent, indirectly responsible for that kid's death. You guys see all this stuff. You have an ability and an obligation, for that matter, to say something. And it can be anonymous. You can say something on Facebook, see someone say something, go to your assistant principal, be like, didn't come from me, but I think this kid's struggling. And all you've done is pass the baton. And they don't go, well, Stephen printed this out for us today and brought it in, or are you going to kill yourself? They don't get that. All they do is go, oh, crap, we got a problem here. They reel the kid in. Go, hey, we got reports that you're posting stuff online. They get their parents involved. They get the counselor involved. And all of a sudden, this kid that needs help is getting help. And you indirectly affected that. That's what I'm telling you guys. It goes either way. And you guys are in full control of that. All right. So not only do you have an obligation to tell someone about the stuff that's going on, but you can control. You can contribute to someone's life either being way better or way worse by whether you step up and say something, stand out on your own, whether you just sit back and watch. Here's warning signs. You're going to be one of those fighters for me. Here's what you look for. If you or any of the people around you are experiencing this, it's important you step up and say something. You start seeing changes in sleep and eating patterns, change in routine, drop in academic performance. You begin to be quick to snap, like one small thing. Remember we talked about hurt and pain? When you hold on to all that stuff, One thing that comes from holding on to all that stuff is you snap. One question, hey, what's going on? You get this huge reaction. Everybody's like, whoa, dude. The other part is if you just stuff it all down, you start getting the next symptom. Headaches, backaches, neck aches, whatever. It comes because all this negative stuff you're holding on to, and your body can't get rid of it, so it starts having a physical effect on you because you're not talking about how you feel. So in addition to that, other stuff to look for, bullying siblings, all of a sudden, someone's starting to, mess with their siblings more. They're more irritable than average, or they start completely withdrawing. Some kids just go off the map. They just go dark. They're not on their Facebook. They're not hanging out. Those are the kids that need help. Just had a kid like this in my practice. He was his best friend just all of a sudden just went off the grid. Pretend like everything was cool and chill at school, tried to put up a fake front, gone off Facebook, texting, nothing. All he was doing was laying in bed after school because he was so bummed out. Finally, the guy stepped up. My client stepped up and said something. Kid's getting help. He's in a better spot. So, look, I think the long and short of this thing, if you hear somebody talking about suicide, kids will hint, statistically, at least 1 to 3 times about killing themselves if they're intent on it before they actually do it. That's what I'm saying. You guys are first responders, front line here. You could save a kid's life or be responsible indirectly for its demise. All right. Here's the other stuff. This is the time for you guys to start figuring out what life's about. Okay? What is life about? I got news for you. It's not about what you accumulate. It's not about the fact that, I'm excited about it. Modern Warfare 3 is coming out in November, and that's going to be pretty sweet. At least the trailer looked pretty sweet. Here's the deal. As much as all that stuff is sweet, that's not what life's about. To me, life is about making a change, making a difference. Because when you're laying on your deathbed and you're looking back on your life 60, 70 years from now, it's not going to be about what game came out, what house you got, what car you drove. It's going to be about, did you make a difference? Did you try to leave this place better than you found it? Did you make an impact in a positive way? Because if you're all about yourself and not looking out for others, life spirals pretty quickly. To me, life is about making life better for everybody else. I love the quote. One of my favorite quotes is, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give and leave behind. And that's the difference between living and having a full life. The other thing is look, karma exists. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, what you put into stuff is what you get back out. What you put into schoolwork is what you get back out in grades. If your parents flip out on you and you have a bad reaction to that, it just comes back to you and kicks your own butt more. They flip out and you have a good reaction to it, it's more chill for you. Life always works this way. Someone who's bullying is going out of their way to do stuff to people, that's coming back to them. You flick a kid's pencil off the desk, guaranteed that's coming back. You'll be that kid walking, talking to somebody and bang into a pole. Yeah, karma, it's coming back to you. It always works that way. Always works that way. So look, go at it. Once I realized that if I'm all about me and I'm going to be a jerk to people, my life continually gets worse, I switched it up. I'm like, no way. Is that really how it works? And I started being cool to people, trying to make life better for people. My life just started taking off. I'm like, no way. I went back to being kind of a jerk. Same thing happened. Went back to being cool. Got better. This is how life always works. And the bully is just digging themselves a bigger hole. You don't even have to do anything about it in the first place. All right, if you've messed with the kid, go back and apologize. I mean, think about the kid that was messing with you. When I asked you to think about a time you were bullied, what if that dude rolls up and just like, hey, you know what, honestly, man, like, for what I did back there, I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry. All of a sudden, that makes that situation way better. You don't spend the rest of your life thinking about, what an idiot this kid was. Stop blindly following. That's the thing, guys. Stop blindly following the trends. When trends start going, I go the other direction. A whole bunch of people go in one direction. If it takes me 20 minutes, I'll take surface streets versus sitting in traffic with all these crazy people. Blaze your own trail. Think for yourself. Take a stand for what you believe is right and wrong. Your whole life, you're going to need these skills, and there's no better time than starting right now, because you learning how to do this now is going to save lives. It's going to make people's lives better. Because if you guys don't take a stand for yourselves and for other kids around you, then who's going to? Nobody. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, you guys are the ones behind the wheel. You're in control. How do you want it to be? You guys, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. I saved about 5. We had a lot of questions with the 7th graders. I'm not giving you my gamer tag, by the way. They always ask for that. Sorry, man. You can find me. I'm out there. If you find me, I'll play with you. But hey, so any questions we got about me, about school, about bullying, even about COD, I'm cool with. But you guys got to be chill. You guys got to be chill, or I can't hear the questions. Someone yelled something out here. Yeah. I'm second prestige, but it's legit. I'm not a hacker, cheater like all you other guys out here. Yeah, I'm a dad and I work, so it's kind of hard. Yeah. Battlefield 3. You know, honestly, man, I'm a Halo guy and I'm a COD guy, so I'm a little bit old school. Yeah. Hey, hold on, help me out.
How do you defend yourself from a bully on Xbox Live?
Xbox Live. Good question. You know, honestly, that's a great question because there is a ton of crap being talked on Xbox. You know what I really liked about when you go in, the great thing about what the game system started doing was like when I go and play Halo Reach, like I can select, do I want to hear everybody just chirping and talking? And I can pretty much play in a chill environment where I don't have to deal with that. But all I do, honestly, is I just turn it down. I just turn the volume off. It's like, really? I'm going to be sitting here in my own house, my own room, and this idiot across the country is chirping away in my ear. It's like he's sitting on the couch next to me. Oh, screw this guy. I just turn the volume off. Mute. Exactly. Mute's been the best feature of that whole game system. Yeah. Say what? Hey, great question. First legit question. Awesome. How many years did it take me to be a psychologist? I went to school for 10 years after high school, including college, to get my master's and my doctorate. But I'll tell you guys this much. What you put into things is what you get back out, like we talked about. I've got a legit job right now, and I'm getting paid and paid decently to help people to have a better life. It's the best thing I could have ever asked for. Now, when I left college, all my buddies were out there making like $100,000, you know, in business, doing their thing. I was in grad school getting my master's and doctorate, eating top ramen, trying to stay alive because I was starving to death. But I went through school, I got my degree, and I picked a profession. If you're going to become a doctor of any sort in life, you're going to have job security. So when the economy tanked and all that stuff happened, all my buddies, you know, instead of like traveling around, have to like strap it down, and it's like the tortoise and the hare deal. I'm just smooth sailing because I've got consistency. And that's what you get out of sacrificing 10 years of school is some job security. Yeah. I went to University of Pacific, school up in Northern California. It was pretty cool. It was like a West Coast Ivy League school with a Division I sports program, so it was rad. Yeah. Why did I become an adolescent psychologist? Great question. So when I was in high school and middle school, I didn't like how everybody was judgmental and cliquey and judge a book by its cover, didn't see me for who I was or who I would be. I was like, I kind of think I'm the man, but not a lot of people do. Even though I had friends and I played sports, it still sucked. And I'm like, really? Really? Is this how life's always going to be? So when I got to college, I saw how rad life was. You see, like, people are so much more chill and independent and mature. And in high school, it gets even better. I mean, in college, you see athletes hanging out with emo kids. It's not even like a big deal. Everybody's just chilling. And what I saw was stuff in middle school was really tough. Honestly, this is as tough as it gets. High school was still there, but it was less, a lot less. And then it was pretty much gone when you hit college. So all I want to do is run back to talk to middle schoolers and high schoolers, talk about what's out there and how much better it gets. Because I wish some dude had rolled up when I was in your guys' shoes. Just being like, hey, here's what you need. Here's how you deal with it. It's awesome out there. You just got to weather the storm and be a fighter. Great question, though. Yeah, in back. Great question. I played corner, and I was a place kicker, and in college, I was just a place kicker. What? My foot, it was actually harder to kick, and I had to get cleared by CIF and NC2A and all this stuff. But I think my longest field goal was 55. Yeah. The worst bullying I dealt with. I think it was just all the stuff about my leg, you know, like I felt like people were always hammering me about my leg, you know. Oh, other stories from other kids? Oh, man, I've heard of everything. Kids getting dumped in trash cans. I've heard of people on, like, form spraying just completely destroying other kids. Facebook, you know, all of a sudden someone will make a negative comment and everybody clicks that they like it, which, you know, those are the hardest things that everybody's dealing with now. I don't know if you guys are dealing with this, but I see a lot of high schoolers dealing with this. Is everybody kind of pretends like they're your friend and you hang out with all these people at school, but then you go out on the weekend, you're like, hey, what are you guys doing over the weekend? They're like, oh, you know, I'm going to my grandma's house. And all of a sudden you see on Facebook, like, all these other dudes were hanging together and they didn't even factor you in. That sucks. And that's what a lot of people your age are dealing with. Yeah.
What's your highest level on Ascension?
On Ascension? I don't know. I honestly don't know what my highest level is. Good question. Yeah. Zombies. You know, honestly, man, I'm not the, you can ask COD stuff, it's fine. Don't get on them. You know, I'm not the biggest, I know everybody's going to kill me for this, but I'm not the biggest zombie fan. I like playing online. I like playing live. So much hype. I like going to toe-to-toe with other people. I like the competition. I don't like playing against the computer so much. Yeah, in the back. Great question. You know the cool thing about, he asked if I ever lost my leg again after I was playing football. As I got older, technology got so much better. So I could be running when I was playing in high school and college, and some guy would grab me by the legs and tackle me, and everything would go forward, and it would just be like suctioned on, no problem. Yeah. What? You know, I don't even know what my KD ratio is. I don't pay attention to that. I'm just looking for leveling up, you know? And I also look at how much time I played. Yeah, in the green shirt. Hey, you guys got to chill a little bit. I can hear him. Is my foot waterproof? Yes. Yes, and I have a different leg I use. I use one for snowboarding. Like, I'm a huge snowboarder. I just actually went to Whistler this winter and went heliboarding, and I jumped out of a helicopter. It was sick. Yeah, so anyways, but I've got one that was for water where it flips out to 180 degrees so I can go scuba diving and snorkeling like I like to. Yeah.
Do you take it off when you go to bed?
Do I take it off when I go to bed? Yes. It's like a sock. If you don't take it off, you're going to stink. Yeah. What? Straight up regular, man. I can flip it, though. I like to flip it up a little bit, especially when you're dealing with some crazy terrain. Yeah, in the back. What? Yeah. Pretty much. And you can do it, man. You guys all can. Hey, thank you guys for your time. Have a good rest of your school year.